Thank you very much, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So my name is Shubham Chaudhuri. I'm the World Bank Country Director for Nigeria, based here in Abuja. When Waziri approached me, I think it was about a month or 6 weeks ago, about whether I would be willing to join this event and give this goodwill message, I said absolutely. And I did so for 3 reasons. The first is simply that it was Waziri who was asking. I mean, his role, both at his time at NATI, before as a journalist, but since, in having the vision to start this up, and thank you, Dr. Shatima, and MacArthur Foundation for supporting this initiative, I think has been key in trying to raise the tenor, the quality, the kind of the impact of the public discourse. Yes, NESG has been there and has been very effective. But, when I've worked in every country in Asia, and one thing that did strike me in Nigeria was sort of very relatively thin space in terms of think tanks, groups, institutions that try to inform and influence the public discourse. Now, whether or not more information and evidence and analysis will actually translate, now that's the second part. But until you have this first part of having the information, analysis, evidence, it's hard to actually think about influencing policy and political decisions. So that's the second reason I said absolutely. I think this, and the third reason is simply the topic. Climate resilience, climate change, and the challenges as well as opportunities that countries face in the face of climate change. As that's emerged as one of the kind of the critical issues in all of development. In fact, for the World Bank here, our program in Nigeria, and I see Drita there, she's one of our team leads on this, climate resilience, helping Nigeria, supporting Nigeria in how best to respond to the reality of climate change is a big part of our program. And I liked especially, the point that's made in the report about, on the one hand, yes, the overwhelming challenge is on the adaptation front. Climate change is going to make life, has already made life more difficult for millions of Nigerians because of rising temperatures, floods, water scarcity, desertification in the north, coastal erosion. So that's a reality. But what I like is this additional point that, in the climate change world, we talk about that as the adaptation challenge. And then typically we also talk about the mitigation challenge. Well, fact of the matter is Nigeria, as well as much of sub-Saharan Africa, the mitigation challenge, it's hard to reduce emissions further when you're not emitting that much to begin with, right? What is it? 4% of global greenhouse gas emissions originate from sub-Saharan Africa once you take aside South Africa, okay? But the mitigation challenge, and that's not to say that there isn't a challenge, but the challenge is actually a little bit different from what it might be, say, for an India or an Indonesia or a South Africa, or a China, where we're huge emitters, right? For Nigeria, it's the challenge of how do you promote development in Nigeria, which can only happen with electricity access, okay, with energy, with, Nigeria's electricity consumption per capita now is what? I think the latest figures I saw, 133 kilowatt hours per year. Okay, India is probably Indonesia, we're like at 1,500, China 6,000, the US 13,000. There's no way in Nigeria can achieve the potential it has, realize kind of the dreams and opportunities that people aspire to without raising this. So there is, and the question then becomes, it's all about energy transition. Okay, how does Nigeria develop, but does so in a way that is consistent or aligned with, or at least with the global trend towards, low carbon and a net zero world. Okay, so that, in a sense, is also an adaptation challenge, and I think that's the point that's made in the report that I like very much. That whether or not Nigeria, is emitting, the thing is, the rest of the world is moving in a direction, and that will pose challenges for Nigeria, and also opportunities. Voluntary carbon markets, other things. Thinking about, once the EU standards about, the carbon footprint of products, etc., come in. Last, let me say that, I hope as part of this discussion today, it's not just about the technical substance, but it's really what, it's about how does that translate into implementation. I don't know if DG Salisu is still going to be here, but, DG Salisu, National Climate Change Council has been created. He's the Director General, but there needs to be some coordinated action. Okay, right now I see lots of papers. We don't need any more policy documents. We don't need any more, plans, etc., commitments. We need, actually, for Nigeria, all the different actors. I think somebody said, it's all of government, all of economy effort to actually respond to these two challenges. So again, it's great that you're doing this. I'm very here. I've been invited to provide this goodwill message. Best of luck. Thank you.